It's the Wonder Boner.
In this world, obsessed with kindness and ethical blindness. So please excuse my sarcastic tone. I'm a bit underwhelmed by the sample shown. Mr. Piss-Drunk fraternity guy, you got my asshole, bloodshot eyes. Get drunk and fight every night. Idolize Bradley, belittle women's rights. Homophobic, racist, and don't give a fucking hey. Do you think you can drive a bigger truck? So wear your baseball cap to decide to let everyone know that you're a nice guy. So cool, we're so impressed. Lots of chicks in a barrel chest. Cause you're a real man. Punch for punch, gonna piss in your face while you're passed out drunk. I'm a nice guy, you're a nice guy. He's a nice guy, but all of your assholes. I'm a nice guy, you're a nice guy. She's a nice guy, but all of your assholes. Nice guys rule the planets. I just can't understand it. How could divine by deception and lies? Social Darwinism and an overdose of pride. Fuck off, jerk off. I don't wanna hear it. Fuck off, jerk off. Read into the lyrics, cause everybody gets their just desserts. As long as you remember that nice guys finish first. You're next on the list. Such a nice guy who speaks through his fists. Prick with a penchant for messing with heads. A broken nose for dinner and breakfast in bed. Alcoholic, paranoid, and suicidal too. But you'll probably kill her before she gets away from you. Screws in a pool, let it cry. All your friends say that you're a nice guy. Have a drink, this one's on me. Look, you're doing fine, losing to your disease. Comatose, I'll pack your bags. Bury you like cats ready to gag. I'm a nice guy, you're a nice guy. We're all nice guys, but all of your assholes. He's a nice guy, she's a nice guy. Hey, Tom Bo's a nice guy. All of your assholes, nice guys. Rule the planet, the fundamental. How could a body by deception and lies? Social Darwinism and an overdose of pride. Fuck off, jerk off. I don't wanna hear it. Fuck off, jerk off. Read into the lyrics, so let the flunkies will quench your thirst. As long as you remember that nice guys finish first.
Everybody, welcome to the Plex. We do the show live Sundays, 7 p.m. Pacific on Twitch. That's twitch.tv/EchoPlex Media. Simulcasting to other places that do not matter. You can support this project at patreon.com/EchoPlex or at eplex.store. Sign up at the $5 a month level or higher, and you will get the entire show of this, as well as down ballot, including red light, sent to your inbox, I don't know, a day before it comes out. Other ways to support the show can be found at the website, echoplexmedia.com. Click the support link at the top. People watching on Twitch, you know how the monetization system works here. I'm producer Dave. You can find me on Twitter, but you'll have to look. And I'm just have to remind you of something. You might not believe it, but
everything's fine, and everything's fine, and it's great. Thanks. Everything's fine, and everything's fine, and it's great. Thanks. Everything's fine, and everything's real nice. Day. The weather, the traffic, the time, and the news. How's your commute? What do you do? Sorry I'm late, I kept hitting snooze. It's just one of those days. You know what they say. It is what it is. Ignorance is bliss. When it rains, it pours. Couldn't ask for more. What goes around comes around, all in good time. I guess that your guess is as good as mine. Everything's fine and everything's fine and it's great. Thanks. Everything's fine and everything's fine and it's great. Thanks. Everything's fine and everything's fine and it's great. Thanks. Everything's fine and everything's fine. I hope you have a real nice day. Everything's fine and everything's fine and it's great. Thanks. Everything's fine and everything's fine and it's great. Thanks. Everything's fine and everything's fine and it's great. Thanks. Everything's fine and everything's fine. I hope you have a real nice day.
All right, so this was weird. I'm not sure what the fuck's going on here. This is a press conference or something at the White House. There's a lot of weird shit happening here. Check this out.
Take this extremely seriously, as we have been for the last year and a half, and more of the presidency. At the NIH, what we've done is we have established the Autism Data Science Initiative, which started almost a year, actually more than a year ago, where we funded a dozen and more major research teams to answer the question of what is the cause of autism. It's a complicated biological phenomenon. It's not going to be a simple answer. It will have, as the Secretary said, potentially genetic predisposition, but that cannot possibly explain why we've seen such a large rise in autism. There must be some other environment.
Okay, so the president appears to be falling asleep. Jay Bhattacharya is lying about autism, and then I'm not even sure this is a person in the red scarf. That might be like a fucking automaton or something. There's just a lot of weird shit going on in that clip. Things are just getting weirder and weirder, everybody. So we got some news on Iran. The Strait of Hormuz is open. It's open. I swear it's open. Or is it the straits are open? I think the straits or the strait. The straits are maybe okay, but the Strait of Hormuz is not. I don't know.
Back to the subject of Iran, sir. Can you give us any estimate of when you think the Strait of Hormuz will be part of
it's
any deal
open
to open
now.
up
We're
more?
taking a lot of ships. It's open now. Look, the only one that has control of the Strait of Hormuz right now is the United States Navy. We have a blockade that's been infallible. It's a steel wall. And we let people in that we want to let in, and those people come in, and they've been coming in and they're going out. So it's actually open now.
Did you know that? The Strait of Hormuz is open now. There's a blockade, but it's our blockade. It's a great blockade. It's made of steel. The steel blockade is we're letting the right people in. We're not letting the wrong people in. Here's the nominee for Lindsey Graham's old seat, the Republican nominee, his sister, and presumably the person who is going to win, because that's a very Republican state, is fine with all this Iran stuff because I guess she loves and trusts Donald Trump or whatever. So she really doesn't actually have much of an opinion, it seems like.
About 24 hours. I know you've talked a lot about affordability. You've talked about high prices at the grocery store. How will you actually tackle this problem, and why did you decide to make this your platform?
Well, like most South Carolinians, I struggle too. You know, when I go shopping, I'm a bargain shopper. If the steak's not on sale, I don't buy it that week. I look for the buy one, get one free sale. So I think like most South Carolinians, I live the struggles here too. And, you know, we have to get the economy booming and cut government spending in order to get the prices down.
When you talk...
What the fuck? That's not... We have to get the economy booming. We have to cut government spending. That'll get the prices down.
What are the things that they talk the most about when they talk about those economic strains?
They talk about affordability. They talk about gas prices. They talk about the price of groceries. They talk about the cost of health care. I have 2 daughters with serious health issues, so I know how it feels to pay outrageous medical bills. It's a struggle. It can easily bankrupt a family. Those are challenges that I think most...
Go ahead.
Sorry.
She just fucking malfunctioned? She just like stopped talking? Things are dire. Things are fucking dire, everybody.
Most South Carolinians.
Oh, everybody talk at once. Ready, go.
To the current war in Iran?
I stand with President Trump. You know, national security is utmost important. We have to protect our nation. I realize that the price of gas is a little high right now, but I think President Trump is going to get us through this, and the price of gas will eventually come down. So I'm just going to support him, and I believe in him when it comes to dealing with Iran.
Oh, well, that's great. I trust the president. Fucking national security is the utmost importance. What a weird fucking thing, like where the homeboy dies and then like his sister just gets to take his job until like she runs, until somebody runs for I mean, that, I don't know, man, that's some weird shit, dude. I think that's some South Carolina shit if I ever heard it. Like, why the fuck did she just get to take his job? Like after he died, I don't understand. We have some weird shit going on in this country, and I'm sorry. I feel bad for those of you who are being represented by this person, because this person's only qualification seems to be Lindsey Graham's sister, but Lindsey Graham's only qualification seemed to be warmonger. So I don't know. Is this maybe it's more like a lateral move? Yeah. Somebody in chat mentioned she did win the primary, but I think she won the primary because she already had the job because she was Lindsey Graham's sister, right? Like, I don't know if homegirl would have just run for office, like of her own free will or like of her own volition. I don't know if she would have won. It really helps when you're already the incumbent for a position that you were never elected for, actually. I hear that's helpful. So up next, criticism of the war is deranged.
And watch this space for more announcements coming next week, because we are going to apply measures like have never been seen in the history of economic isolation on a country. And
do you mean our own country? Are you talking about doing that to are you talking about doing that to America?
We are succeeding is because it is a 1-2 punch. People say, well, you know, Cuba lasted a long time, Venezuela lasted a long time. Venezuela immediately crumbled when we put the blockade on. So it will be a combination.
I mean, we also did kidnap their leader.
Economic isolation like the world has never seen before, and the continued blockade in the Strait of Hormuz that will keep anything from going in or out.
Did he say Hormuz like it's vermouth?
When a Democrat says Iran's never been stronger, what's your reaction?
Then it's typical that they're uninformed, deranged, and have no idea what they're talking about.
Oh yeah, that's right. People who don't like the war don't know what they're talking about. Uninformed and deranged. I don't know, man. These people, man. I don't know. I feel like one of the reasons that like Trump is losing support is that like his surrogates are idiots. And like, they're not actually that good of propagandists. Like Trump is kind of a good propagandist, but I don't think a lot of his like the people in his cabinet or whatever are like very good at this. And so I think they're not really able to sell this fucking steaming pile of bullshit to even the people who are inclined to support Donald Trump. I think that they're just, they're not that great at it. I think like Bannon and Gorka and stuff. I mean, people made fun of them, but they were reasonably good propagandists. But these people, no, they're just not good at this. They're kind of off-putting. That guy like sort of seems like an automaton. That guy's like the black hole of charisma. So we got one more, I think, on the Strait of Hormuz. This is just like there's a CNN panel. There's a lot of fucking yelling happening here.
I'm sorry. So you're arguing.
The goals are
Which is it?
completely separate
they're
issues.
not. Oh, no,
Of course, the goals at the outset
Everybody talk at once. Ready, go.
of this conflict were twofold. Stop the Iranian nuclear program. They cannot have one. And then end the Iranian missile arsenal to the point where they can defend the recreation of that nuclear program.
And we're nowhere
Those
close to
goals
that.
have been accomplished. Both of those goals have been accomplished. What do we do about the Strait of Hormuz?
This is worse than a Twitch debate panel.
If we look at where we are right now, we're actually getting 8 million. We're actually getting 8 million barrels of oil out of there a day. We're also getting 8.5 million through alternative pipelines that are going through there. That is contributing to the fact, along with our we're producing a lot more exports. The South Americans are producing a lot more exports. It's $80 a barrel, and it's not 100. It's not 125. It's not 150. Like you were projecting a few months ago at this same table.
Hang on, because we're going to move on here. I will say gas right now is $1 more than it was at the beginning of the war. The Strait of Hormuz is severely constricted. Yes, there is some oil getting through. Iran does have their enriched uranium, which they had at the beginning of the war. They still very much have the
under rubble
uranium. We think?
There's no intel that suggests that it's not under rubble.
It's still there. It's still there. Bottom line, and it's not gone yet. And there's no mechanism to get it up. That is just where things stand at this moment. That's right. And they continue to shoot some missiles here and there. And they still.
God, that sucks. I don't know, man. I guess just they should just have a show where instead of like trying to have a show, they just mic everybody up and let everybody fucking yell at each other. I think that would be fantastic. I would watch that show. We would watch that show. We would watch that show on stream like once a week. It would be our favorite show if it was just an hour of people yelling at each other with commercial breaks where the people yelling at each other weren't even told when the commercial break is. So when it comes back in, they're still fucking yelling at each other. I would fucking watch the shit out of that. And it wouldn't be that different than this panel show that they have. I don't even know the name of the panel show, but we always pull clips of it. And it's always just like 5 or 6 people all talking over each other. So, everybody, are you ready for DSA, the Destructive Socialists of America?
Well, what do you make of, say, AOC? It seems to be the Abigail Spanberger strategy, which is hide who you are. You know, obviously, El Sayed is doing the same thing, won't distance himself from Hassan Piker. It seems now the strategy is, whoops, we can't say what we really believe out loud. We didn't really mean that. Will that be effective? Will the American people be deceived?
Well, what these Democrats do is hide behind cute labels like the Democrat Socialists of America. They should be called the Destructive Socialists of
Oh, got him. Fucking got him.
America. Just look at what AOC and the Democrat Party has done over the past 2 years. They have blocked all of the significant policy that President Trump and Republicans have implemented, like the largest middle-class tax cuts.
Wait, did they block it or was the policy implemented? Why are these people so stupid?
In American history, every single Democrat voted against that. If they had their way, they will massively raise your taxes. 90% of Americans across this country, they say just for the wealthy, no. Middle class, working class Americans in this country will have more of their hard-earned money taken out of their paychecks if Democrats are given a chance at power. Again,
if she's talking about healthcare, well, yeah, like this is like I think the Democrats have done kind of a bad job. Well, first of all, the Democrats have done a bad job of supporting universal health care. But I think a lot of people who are like running on it or it's part of their platform have done a bad job of explaining it. And it's hard because you have to take a minute or so. The idea is, let's say you're paying $1,000. I don't know, you and your spouse and one kid. You're getting a great deal. You're paying $1,000. Now we're going to tax you instead, and you're going to get taxed $600 extra. Well, people, they're like, oh, my taxes went up $600. It's like, no. You're up $400, right? I don't know what the exact math would be, but like the Democratic Party and the Democrats who are running on this haven't all done a great job of explaining it. But also, I don't know. I feel like people kind of understand it. But it seems like it just needs to be kind of hammered home because otherwise the Fox Newses of the world are just gonna tell you that it's a tax increase. And while it is, it's like the way every other fucking country does it. Almost all of our allies do it that way. I guess it's just for rich countries like Mexico, though. Country that we shit on all the time for being like poor and sending us all their poor people and all that. They had some version of universal health care. It wasn't like European style. prior, but then it has just been implemented now that they have universal health care. And I assume the people there understand they're going to pay a little more taxes and they're going to get health care. So up next, did you know that the DSA or whatever, they're all weird. They're all fucking weirdos.
Over to the socialists. And by the way, you said she's just weird. They're all weird. Like literally, she hates Thanksgiving. You've got
fuck Thanksgiving.
Hates football. Rico, remember, he hates ribs. He hates meat. He's running.
No, he doesn't. You fuckers kept trying to lie and say that he hates ribs, and so that he posted a picture of himself eating ribs, and you're like, why is he using a napkin?
Like, binary. Where are they getting these people? But.
Like, what are you talking though? Okay, so like, fuck Thanksgiving. Like, I don't know. I like getting together with family. I like the food and whatever, but the whole idea of it is like, let's celebrate a genocide. So I'm not really into it. And I hope fucking school kids aren't being taught the whole lie. Like, oh, we got here and then they shared their food with us and we all held hands at the table. I hope kids aren't being taught that. But if kids are being taught the truth about it, that's probably going to be illegal in a fucking like now, right? They're like, how dare you teach the kids that wasn't what happened, right? Fucking critical fucking Thanksgiving theory or whatever. Like, Jesus Christ. Everybody, you knew this was coming from. I mean, we already heard this from that one fucking tweaker on Twitter, Magdi. She kept calling him that, and I think Smiratanen was also doing some version of this, but they're calling Trump is now calling Abdul Sayed a fucking jihadist because you knew this was coming, right? Homeboy's name is Abdul. I'm surprised that they haven't been calling him haven't been blaming 9/11 on him already.
What recommendations do you have for Republicans, heading into midterms right now? And are Democrats, with the candidates they're putting forward, making life easier for?
Well, the one thing is we have jihadists being elected all over the place. We have this, whether it's communism, jihadism. It's a friend of mine called up. He said, really, you should use the word jihadist because that's what's happening. And I'm not sure that anybody, if you take a look at what happens in other countries, I think that's not going to be necessarily the way we want to live.
Yo, homeboy, he's just Muslim, like Dr. Oz in your cabinet. He's the same religion as somebody in your cabinet. It's because Abdul is brown, like he's darker skin than Mehmet Oz. That's what's going on here. Mehmet Oz is he's a Muslim, which would be fine. My problem with Mehmet Oz is not that he's Muslim, right? The problem with Mehmet Oz is fucking everything else. And you knew they were going to do this. So speaking of Abdul, seems like Haley Stevens is actually taking her primary loss a lot better than some of her fucking weird surrogates are. Here's Haley Stevens on Fox News.
Coming on. Will you campaign for Al Sayed in Michigan? Yes or no?
Well, look, I'm a proud Democrat, and I'm going to be out there campaigning for Democrats.
Wow. Okay, here we go. Haley Stevens, let's talk again soon, okay? Thank you for coming.
God, fucking Smiratanen and that one fucking tweaker lady Magdi are freaking out when they saw that. Yeah, she lost. She's like, I don't know, the Democrat should win. She's handling a lot better than the fucking weirdos on Twitter are, let me tell you. So now we're going to go down to Texas. Ken Paxton did an event, and you should just always heckle these people. Just always fucking heckle, especially Ken Paxton, because he's an extremely heckleable individual. Always heckle Ken Paxton. Not just Ken Paxton, but especially Ken Paxton. Oh, it's a great website they got going on here. Let's see. The video going to play? Here we go.
If you can help me with it, I'm looking, but that's where I'm guessing. And then you cheated on your wife! Why are you going on?
Why do they chant USA after he's like, hey man, you cheated on your wife? And they're like, oh yeah, USA, USA. Dude, he cheated on his wife. So I don't know, man, people cheat, but this guy's like running on this family values bullshit. So like, it's all fair game, right? This is all like an assessment of people's character. And this dude hasn't like tried to like make any amends for his like previous bad behavior or whatever, like a fucking normal person. So, yeah, I don't know. Heckle this motherfucker all the time. Heckle these people all the time. So, here's a Tallarico ad. I heard this is pretty good. Let's see.
This is Ken Paxton. And this is Ken Paxton stealing someone's $1,000 pen. The incident happened at the Collin County Courthouse, the same courthouse where Paxton would later be indicted for investment fraud. Paxton walked up to the trays next to the metal detectors, rummaged through them, and came across someone else's expensive Mont Blanc pen. He decided to take it for himself. The pen belonged to Joe Joplin, a local attorney who'd accidentally left it behind. It was a special gift from his wife. When Joe realized it was missing, he contacted courthouse security. This is the footage they pulled. Ken Paxton, on camera, stealing this man's pen. After the police got involved, Joe got his pen back. He could have pressed charges, but he decided against it. Because Joe's a nice guy. He'd never take someone else's pen. But he also hasn't forgotten who took his.
Hi, I'm Joe Joplin, and I endorse James Tallarico for the United States Senate.
Vote for James.
Okay, that ad fucking rules. That's so funny. Like, even if you're a Ken Paxton supporter, if you see that ad, you're gonna laugh because it's very funny. That rules. Tallarico campaign is doing a really good job. There's a couple things he's doing really well. One, he's doing a good job of sort of painting Ken Paxton as Ken Paxton. The other thing he's doing pretty well is not getting involved in this like inter party fight where he's not getting involved in this bullshit where it's like, oh, these people are too far to the left. He seems to be doing a coalition building in the Democratic Party. He seems to be courting all parts of the Democratic coalition, which is what he needs to do to win in Texas. So that's like really good. I think he's doing a really good job. It's going to be a tough one. I know there's a lot of people like on like social media who are like, oh, he's got it in the bag because like a poll shows him up fucking 2 points. He doesn't have it in the bag. This is going to be tough. But it's going to be close and I really hope he wins. But the thing is, if he wins by just a little bit, they're going to fucking like do everything they can to say that his campaign is fraudulent and shit. And I don't know if the Democratic Party in Texas has the sort of institutional apparatus to even like deal with that. So we'll have to see what happens. I think that'll be one of the interesting stories on election night is if let's say it's real close and Tallarico wins by less than like 100,000 votes or something. I'd be interested to see how this goes and if the Republicans find a way to just somehow insert Ken Paxton anyway. We'll see. We'll see. So up next we got Minnesota is mostly red except for there's a blue part. That's where all the people live. Like these people keep doing this. Oh, California, look at all that red in California. I'm like, hey man, the blue part is where all the people live. They keep doing this all the time. This is like their thing. They're like, look at all the red parts. It's like, dude, there's cows there.
Because Minnesota doesn't necessarily lean, as they say, Democrat. In fact, if you look at the 2024 presidential heat map, it is overwhelmingly red. There is a blue dot essentially in the Twin Cities. Yes, that is true. And there's a blue dot in the northwest angle where there's more moose, I would argue, than people. But
wait, what? What about the rest of the part where it's all red? What are the fucking densely populated areas? He's like, there's a place where all the people live where the blue is, and there's a place where less people live where the blue is, and then there's a whole bunch of red where not a lot of people live. Like, what are these people talking about? What is happening? This is ridiculous. Up next, we got, I didn't watch this because fucking everybody was saying it's great, so I resisted the urge to watch this. This is Donald Trump in the reflecting pool. The Scooby-Doo mystery. Let's see what this is.
Today, Scooby-Doo meets Donald Trump. Somebody, very bad people, turned my beautiful pool green. Vandals! Despite what Janine Pirro says, we even caught this one in the act. Could be years in jail. I've called you in to solve the mystery of who's behind it.
we'll take the case.
Like, that's not a reflecting pool, man. That's a reflecting ditch. Hey, gang, we have to find out who's responsible for the debacle at the reflecting pool. Daphne, you come with me. Shag, you and Scoob check out the far end of the pool. And Velma, you investigate the pool itself. Let's meet at the Washington Monument at midnight.
This place is kind of creepy, Scoob. Maybe a little snack would help take our minds off it. Salami!
Salami!
Sardines!
Sardines!
Lettuce! Zoinks! Run, Scoob!
Oh, who goes there?
Just us and Mike. This spooky monster. Hey, where'd he go? Wait, aren't you done, Knots?
You noticed that, huh? Yep, I've been recruited by ICE and President Trump to find illegals and to guard this pool from vandals.
But that's impossible!
This is satire. Don't overthink it.
Dark blue paint chips? And the liner split all the way out here in the middle of the pool where no one could reach? And what's this? A no-bid work order that reads, "Rush job for America's birthday, skip the primer." Signed by Donald J. Trump? Jinkies. I don't know Harlem Globetrotters. It sure doesn't look like vandals to me.
Nope. It sure doesn't. That's right. Everyone around these parts knows about the legend of the Potomac Muckman. This reflecting pool was constructed on dredged-up marshland. The Muckman did everything he could to stop the pool from being built on his marsh. Ever since the algae arrived, he's been spotted haunting the pool.
We've got to come up with a plan to capture the Muckman. He's the key to solving this mystery.
Right, Fred?
Let's go over the plan one more time. Unredacted Epstein files.
Not even the Potomac Muckman can resist them.
When he goes to leaf through the documents, I'll drop a net on him from above. Then we'll have the answers we need to solve the case.
But Fred, I found some clues that...
Later, Velma. Scooby, you and Shaggy take the files and create a path along the pool leading to the table.
Okay. I thought all these documents had to be released a long time ago. Like, there he is, Scoob. Let's scram.
Thanks for helping us catch the Muckman. We can lock him up with this Olympic canoer. But how does this solve the mystery of the vandals of the reflecting pool?
It's just like old man Carruthers told us. Disturb the swamp for your own vanity, and it rises green to reclaim what's yours.
That's why the water's green and the paint is peeling. Or algae. In a pool painted American flag dark blue as part of a no-bid contract. There were never any vandals. The dark paint made the perfect conditions for this whole debacle, and the contractors botched the job, which led to the liner peeling itself.
You, sir, are free to go.
And the Muckman? Donald Trump? He played the Muckman and made up the whole vandal story to scare everyone off before they figured out he was responsible for the whole thing.
And I would have gotten away with it too, if it weren't for you meddling kids.
Oh, you're going to get away with it. We'll see to that.
That's my girl.
That fucking ruled. I hope that was probably AI, but whatever. That fucking ruled. It was very funny. Very funny. All right, up next, here's Bill Cassidy. How could Bill Cassidy have known that fucking RFK Jr. was going to lie to him when he went to help him get appointed? How could he have possibly known that RFK Jr. would lie?
Then, to Mike's point, you ultimately voted to confirm RFK Jr. As secretary, and then you also recently cleared the way for Erica Schwartz's confirmation as CDC director. Do you regret those decisions?
Well, so first, this is a presidential executive order. RFK told me he was not going to change the ACIP. So if you're going to tell me somebody didn't tell me the truth and I should have seen in the future that.
Dude, you didn't have to see the future to know that RFK Jr. was lying to you. You could have just looked at the past.
They were not going to tell the truth. You can say, oh, Bill, you should have seen into the future. In which case, I'd be on your show talking about the futures of stocks as opposed to vaccine policy. And I anticipate Erica Schwartz will do the right thing. She made a point that her integrity was not in question. And she's got the spine of somebody who's been a senior officer in the Coast Guard. She said, I don't need this job. My integrity is more important to me. In this case, her integrity, this system matters to that child's health.
Dude, how could you have known that a person whose main fucking thing was lying about vaccines and just lying about lots of things, actually. How could you have ever figured out that a person who is famously a liar was lying to you? I mean, what are you like you supposed to be in charge of the country or something? Here's fucking Rudy Giuliani. I don't know how and I don't know why, but Rudy Giuliani is still broadcasting. Here's he has the finger on the pulse. He has his finger on the pulse of young people and the U.S. economy.
Did you know that he congratulated the brave Mujahideen who injured Representative Dan Crenshaw? Did you know that? Piker did?
But I'm not surprised.
And that October 7th was because of what Israel did, not a concerted attack by terrorists on civilians that was organized to ignore the Israeli army as much as possible and go after civilians. And that involved, and we see it on video, rape, murder in front of the children, murder in front of the parents, and of course the hostages. And of course this means nothing to them, including American hostages. But they hate America.
So real quick, do you remember, I'm old enough to remember this, but just barely. So I assume, I don't know, this is the Twitch old folks home, I suppose. But anybody remember like the fucking newspaper things showing fucking the Mujahideen, and it was like Afghani freedom fighters fighting off the communists and shit. Like you could find like newspaper headlines saying this.
How do they get any votes, Ted, with the hatred they display for America? How does any American vote for a Syed? Or
I mean,
dude, his name is Abdul El Sayed. Stop it.
Look, young people are feeling. Sorry, and we got to fix these cameras a little bit here. Look,
what is happening here? Yo, the production value here. Listen. Fucking video production is somebody's passion. Check this out. This is great. Like, what is happening? Like the white parts on that microphone. Like what is happening with the fucking green screen or whatever? Why is everything that's like white being like changed to blue? Like, well, not the white part of the microphone. Like, what is happening here? I'm not even sure what's going on. I thought I knew what was wrong for a second, but they have invented something new to be wrong with your green screen, I think.
The younger generations are feeling the squeeze a little bit economically.
Well, who cares if they're squeezed? Their grandparents felt the Depression and were pro-American.
Yeah, right.
They don't have anything like the Depression. They're a bunch of privileged little shits.
Right, you're right.
What they really need is somebody like my father to kick the shit out of them.
Right. So my point. Yeah, right. You're. That's it. And
if I ever said the things about
that's what young people need is an abusive father like I had, because I turned out great.
I wouldn't get much of a chance to say it in my house. I mean, I can't imagine what their parents are like.
Right.
Oh, they're going to say, a lot of those parents are going, well, I don't know.
You just do an impression of yourself now, man.
Right, I got to credit my parents. I felt like they raised me the right way. I was expected to do chores and, work around the house.
A bunch of ex-hippies.
Right. Well, that's also
a lot of the parents of these kids are a bunch of ex-hippies, and they were smoking their marijuana, and they
were smoking the marijuanas. Oh shit! People smoking the marijuanas. Man, that young man's parents should have told him to go to fucking some kind of class for like how to like use a green screen or something, because I don't know what was going on with his microphone. That fucking Rudy's set though, it's fucking Star Spangled Awesome. Let me tell you, in case you didn't know, that was in the United States of America. Good God, why does that guy have a show? I mean, I don't know. People probably ask the same about me, but like what is happening over there? Oh, that's great. Oh, everybody, the economy, though. The economy, it's about to take off. We've created the conditions for the economy to just take off. It's going to be so great.
fighting for. Now, we put in this Congress, we put into place all the economic conditions to let the economy take off like a rocket. And beginning in the first quarter of this year, that's what was happening. And then we got into the conflict with Iran. Now, that's going to be settling out soon. That will help gas prices and grocery prices stay down to planet Earth because the transport cost and all that related to fuel and the price of oil and gas. That's the big headwind we have right now. But we have done what we said. We fulfilled our promises.
All right. Well, seeing as like you're always kind of nebulous as to what your fucking promises are, and to be fair, that guy's only promise is that he's going to stick his tongue up the president's ass like 24/7. So he has fulfilled that promise. Man, I don't know. You know how Jesus is just going to come back soon. Everybody like Jesus is coming back anytime now. That's what these people are doing about the economy. The economy is just going to explode. It's going to get good. It's anything. No, it's not. Our economy has been sort of propped up. Like right now, the economy, like somebody described I think it was Brandon Bradford, one of my favorite people on Twitter, and actually the first friend I had when I moved to San Jose. He said that the economy right now is just 6 like tech stocks in a trench coat. And I was like, that's pretty good, actually. So up next, these people think that I should hang out at polling places, that it would be good. One of these people, obviously, is Steve Bannon.
I want to go back for illusion. This is what Todd Blanche was saying. He says, I don't understand why people are upset. Of course we're going to have ICE agents because people that are non-citizens can't vote. And, of course, NBC comes back and says, well, that's intimidation. Why is that? It's intimidation. It should be intimidating to non-citizens. Yes, we want it to be intimidating to non-citizens. You should not go to a polling place. The Democratic model, Todd, as you know, is to flood the zone with people that are not.
Steve Bannon, you Steve Bannon, like what? He said, he's the one who said to flood the zone. This is Steve Bannon quote. You're quoting yourself and attributing to Democrats.
Eligible to vote. And this is why they can scream all they want and cry they want, throw their toys out of the pram, but this is going to happen. Todd, your thoughts on ICE agents at polling places?
I think ICE agents belong at polling places. They can go.
Why?
That's their job. Their job.
No, the only people that belong at polling places are voters and poll workers. And if people want to go, you have the right to observe the elect to watch too if you want. So poll workers, people who are observing, well, I think you're just getting in the way. And then people voting. Like, I don't know what the fuck. I don't want people with guns hanging out at the polling place. That seems like some fucking Banana Republic shit, actually.
Find illegal aliens wherever they are. That's their job. We hired them to do that, and the law says that they have to do that. But you're right. Listen, if 278,000 are registered, non-citizens are registered to vote in just 4 states that we know of, that means, there's millions probably who are at least registered to vote. That is not just a problem. That is a catastrophe.
So one of these is like, there's like one of the states is like when you go to fill out your, like these are states where you could get like an ID. You're not a citizen, but you're like here legally or whatever. Or even if you're not, you get an ID and there's just a checkbox on your fucking form to get your ID or your driver's license. And if you check that box, you automatically register to vote. I'm telling you, that's all that happened here. People were just like, sure, yes. You just check the box. They're like, yes, sure, why not?
Because elections in this country these days are decided by a few thousand votes. Look what happened in Michigan. The guy won the primary by 1% or something. Who knows how many non-citizens voted in that?
I would say probably 0. I would guess 0. If it was 1, these people would be like fucking the dude's name would just be on fucking Steve Bannon's show. They would just name a show after fucking whoever voted who isn't a citizen.
It might have been enough. And all of our elections are that close. So there needs to be a big crackdown on people who are registered. First of all, just to register, get rid of the automatic license, driver's license application.
He even knows how it happened. He even knows how it's happening.
Registration function in all these blue states.
All be done.
Right.
He even knew how it happened. Yeah. like when I go to like when I went to change the address like with the DMV, it said, "Oh, would you also like to register to vote?" I said, "Yeah." And then all of a sudden I was registered at my new address. And like someone in chat said, there are some localities where for things like school board and I think school board, I think it's like that in San Francisco, where if you're not a citizen, but you're a legal resident of the city, if you're a legal resident or whatever, you can vote for the school board. So, but only for the school board, right? You like these people are insane. But the guy at the end, he just said how it happens. When you're filling out your shit for your ID or your driver's license or whatever, you just accidentally check yes when you should have checked no. And that's all that's happening here. So, but these people, the reason they want, this is dumb anyway. So like most people vote by mail, although with all the shit going on with the post office, even though it's been struck down by the courts, who knows what the head of the U.S. Postal Service will order the workers to do or whatever. If at all possible, drop your ballot off at the registrar of voters, at one of the drop boxes, or at the polling place on the day of the election. I would suggest against putting it in the mail, just because there's a lot of fucking bullshit going on around there. There shouldn't be. You should be able to vote by mail. It's dumb, but maybe don't go to the polling place because there might be the Gestapo there. And if the Gestapo are there, they might have a nifty new pair of gloves.
ICE agents could soon be equipped with gloves that can deliver painful electric shocks, drawing swift criticism from civil rights groups. In a notice released by the Department of Homeland Security, they say these gloves will act as conductive distraction and de-escalation devices. The price tag for the new gear up to...
They're calling the glove a glove. It's a generated low output voltage emitter. What the fuck, dude? I hate these companies.
This comes just days after the agency announced it would be accelerating its rollout to equip all officers in the field with body cameras. Joining us now, NBC News senior Homeland Security correspondent Julia Ainsley. Julia, what do we know about these gloves and how they work?
Well, they're supposed to conduct a low voltage electronic emission from these gloves. It's an acronym for glove, but they are in fact...
Oh, thanks for explaining it.
Would wear when they go out into the field to make arrests. I talked to a senior DHS official who said that these could be turned on with the touch of a button. But yes, they would use the gloves walking into any encounter. And this official made the argument that this could cut down on lethal force. After all, we saw 2 fatal shootings by ICE officers encountering people in their cars.
So if somebody's like got a pacemaker, these gloves are lethal force.
Though it could be hard to get their hands on a driver, but they said it could be used any time that someone is resisting arrest, and that they would not use them on high-risk individuals like pregnant women. But yes, otherwise, it's really within the discretion of the agent or officer who's wearing them at the time.
I wonder, is there guidance on how and when to use them? Will there be training with this? Because de-escalation training is something that a lot of experts have said is really important. Or is it solely up to the discretion of the officer, Julia?
No, there will certainly be training on how to use them, but their argument here is that it's safer than pepper spray because it doesn't do anything to the public. They say it is painful at first, but that the pain goes away after the hand is removed and that it doesn't leave a mark, but it will certainly grab the attention of the person who is the being affected by these gloves. Where they've been used most frequently is with people inside of the prison system in jails when they're used.
Oh no.
Fight, for example. There's no other time, no other evidence we can draw from where federal law enforcement agencies are actually using these making arrests. But yes, they will be trained. Exactly what that training will entail, I don't know yet, but they're to be used whenever someone is non-compliant. That doesn't necessarily mean that the life of the officer is threatened. It's just when someone refuses to do something like put their hands behind their back. That's right. According to a senior DHS official I spoke to this morning, Christine.
We thank you for watching.
So I think that I think that this rolling out at the same time as the body cams I think there's something else going on here, right? I think that the idea of the body cams is so that you can see maybe, oh, he was resisting, that's why we whooped that ass. And in the body cam shows the person wasn't resisting, right? They were maybe just non-compliant, which is different than like active resistance. Well, I don't know, man. If you fucking zap me, I am going to resist you. Not because I am inclined to resist you, but because that is what my body is going to do. My body is going to resist you. My body is going to try to get your hands off of me because you're electrocuting me. And so this will be a justification for the use of further force. That's what this is for. That way they're like, look, the person was flailing and fucking swinging their arms at me. So I had to bust that ass. Well, no, because you shocked them. Like, I think that's might be what's going on here. In fact, I don't think that's what might be going on here. I think that's what's going on here. So here's Wayne Allen Root with Donald Trump on the phone. Election integrity is an emergency, apparently.
Let's segue to the midterm. Listen, this is the whole ball of wax, the whole kit and caboodle, the whole kitchen sink. We got to win the midterm because otherwise the last 2 years of your presidency, you and I both know you're not going to be able to pass anything. We got to win. So what's the strategy to win the midterm?
Well, one thing is the Senate has to get going on Save America. I really believe that because people expect that to happen, and it has to happen. And you have a couple of Republicans who aren't voting for it, a few. You know, it's about an 89% issue with the overall population, including...
No. 89% of people do not. There's no way the SAVE Act has an 89% public approval rating.
America is voter ID with photo, by the way. You know, it's nice to have they're fighting on the photo. We don't want a photo. No, why don't they want? Because they want to cheat. You know, it's very simple. There's only one reason. But we want to have that. We want to have proof of citizenship. So be nice to say, yes, I'm a citizen. Here's my citizenship, proof of citizenship. And ideally, but we're not even stressing this because that's only a 79% issue. You know, that's not in the 90s. The mail-in ballots are so corrupt. You know that.
Right.
They're so corrupt. You saw it in California a couple of weeks ago when Spencer Pratt had a very substantial lead. And the election kept going on and on, going on for weeks. It might still be going on, actually. But
I bet LA is still counting votes, yeah.
All of a sudden, you hear a report that the woman that nobody ever heard of is surging. Nobody ever heard of her. She's surging. And she took...
Well, she was crying. She was crying on election night because she lost. She was crying. She thought she lost. Then they interjected all the ballots. She won. She had no idea.
California is one of the most corrupt places for elections. They do like 38 million ballots without a voter booth, everything. And Democrats get 5, 6, 7 ballots. And Republicans get none.
No.
Have to call in for their ballot. Yeah, the whole thing is so crazy.
So thankfully, Spencer Pratt couldn't grift. He failed to grift. He could have grifted on this for a good long time. He failed to grift. So I love that for him.
Republicans, and a lot of people don't want to call in. You know, they're not that much into it like we are, right? You know, we're into it. But the guys, you know, they don't know how to get a ballot. They don't get a ballot. Republican areas have a hard time getting a ballot. Nobody ever talks about that.
So
it's a voting emergency. Republican areas aren't getting ballots. Yeah, they are. We cover Shasta County. There was nobody in Shasta County saying they couldn't get a ballot, that they weren't sent ballots. This is incorrect. It's an emergency, though, everybody. Did you know that it's time to seize the voting machines? Here's Tina Peters on Lindell TV. Fun fact about Tina Peters. Clint Curtis in Shasta County, the guy who just lost his election for the registrar of voters and the county clerk, is thinking about trying to hire Tina Peters to help him with the election in November. So that ought to be fun. But here's Tina Peters on Lindell TV talking about how we got to seize the voting machines. Boy, howdy, am I glad that the fucking Colorado governor gave her clemency. She sure seems repentant.
Here's the problem with it, Emerald, and I know you know this, and many of your listeners do, is that Dominion and Smartmatic vendors are the ones that print out and give and email the how to back up the systems. They don't want people to know this. And so right now it's very important to for the Department of War. Now I'm saying the Department of War because this is an international event that is going on with stealing our elections. Pete Hegseth needs to go in and demand to have these machines in their custody, and also the Mesa County machines. They're still out there. They're at the FBI headquarters in
the Mesa pattern of fraud.
Denver. And any of this evidence, because this is evidence, this is hardcore evidence that other nations are coming in and influencing our elections and our election equipment.
Man, Jared Polis, I don't know why they gave her clemency. Like, one of the things for clemency is supposed to be like, it's supposed to be that you like a clemency or a pardon. Like, one of the things is supposed to be that you admitted that you did the thing and that you have like shown repentance or remorse, and that you have shown that you are on like, on a path to some kind of, I'd say redemption, but like some kind of like, redemption or like rehabilitation or whatever. Those are supposed to be things that we talk about when we do when the governors or the president offers like sentence reductions, clemencies, and pardons. But no, not her. None of those things, none of those requirements, or I guess they're not really requirements, right? Because the governor or the president can just do pardon whoever they want, which I think is dumb anyway. I think it's like a sign of like a flawed system when if you have the right homies that can talk to the president or the governor, well, you may have been convicted of a crime, but no, you haven't. Now you get to go. It was bullshit. Like, especially when you consider there are people who are innocent, who did not commit the crime that they were convicted of, who are rotting in jail. Those people must love that shit, right? Like I didn't even do it. Here I am in the who's gal, and this person, because they got homies in high places, the governor gave them clemency or a pardon. Fuck that. We need to get rid of that. I don't know how to do it. Well, that's one of the things we need to get rid of is pardons. It either needs to go away entirely, or there needs to be like an independent panel of judges or lawyers or some shit, where the president or the governor can submit somebody to the panel, but the panel has the ultimate say. I don't know how it would work, but we need to get rid of it in its current form. That's for sure. Here's Todd Blanche pretending not to understand a question about Jeff Epstein.
Just to clarify, is the public going to learn the identities of the men who abused the girls with the information that you're releasing? And if not, why not? And then I have a quick follow-up.
I mean, you just baked in an assumption into your question that I have never said and I don't know to be true. Is the public going to learn about men that abuse these girls? Like, what does that mean? I mean, I don't understand what that means.
What is that?
Well, I mean, they're the men who abused the young women through Epstein's.
Look, we said in July, and it remains as true today as it was in July. If we had information, we meaning the Department of Justice, about men who abused women, we would prosecute them, right? We talked about the work that we're doing. That's why I said that. I said this earlier. There's this built-in assumption that somehow there's this hidden tranche of information of men that we know about that we're covering up or that we're choosing not to prosecute. That is not the case. I don't know whether there are men out there that abuse these women. If we learn about information and evidence that allows us to prosecute them, you better believe we will. But I don't.
No, motherfucker, there's a fucking list of the fucking unindicted co-conspirators that's fucking redacted. Like, what is he talking about? Like, there's redactions. We're talking about people's names being redacted. People whose names, like, based on the context of what we can see, who are not victims or cooperating witnesses. Like, what is he talking about? Like, yeah, they want us to believe that nobody else did this, right? Now, everybody, for example, like, there's people that are in there that, like, there's no evidence they did anything, right? For example, apartheid Clyde, Elon Musk seemed desperately be trying to get on that island, but even those people were like, oh, I don't know about this guy. So maybe he didn't do anything, maybe he didn't hurt anybody in cahoots with Epstein or whatever, but that's mostly because that dude's like fucking so off-putting that even those Epstein people didn't want him around. But like, yeah, there are other people whose names have been redacted who, from the context of what we can see, they're clearly not victims and they're clearly not like whistleblowers or cooperating witnesses or whatever. Like, this is so stupid. This is all really dumb. You know what isn't really dumb? Is Nancy Grace yelling at Sean Hannity. It's probably dumb, actually, but I think there should be just a show every week on Fox where Nancy Grace's crazy ass comes on and yells at Sean Hannity's crazy ass.
Yes, because New York, oddly, in most jurisdictions, the feds and the states are completely separate, sovereign jurisdictions. In other words, I made you a list: Derek Chauvin, Ahmaud Arbery, Rodney King. they could be prosecuted in the state and the federal jurisdictions, right? They are not double jeopardy. But New York, where you are right now, is one of the most restricted.
Wait, why would they prosecute Rodney King? Rodney King of fucking dirty a cop's fucking billy club?
Double
Nancy,
jeopardy
Nancy,
jurisdictions in the country. Yes.
I moved to the free state of Florida years ago. You must be the only American that doesn't know because I say it every day. I remind people.
I thought you went
left that
back and
place,
forth.
and
I'm busy.
No,
stopping
I never
crime.
go.
I can't keep up with
Nope.
which mansion you're living in.
So this lady's not busy stopping crime, but she did just be like, I can't keep track of what mansion you're living in. I don't give a fuck where you live. I'm telling you, they got to put a show on Fox where these two just bicker. It would be hilarious. So there was an executive order on vaccines this week, and it was mind-expandingly stupid. I've got a few clips from a press conference about it. That first clip that we showed at the very beginning of the show, where it looked like that automaton, who I believe shows up in this clip again. In fact, I can see the scarf. The automaton seemed to be pressing a button that woke his ass up or something. But anyway, here's some from this press conference about this dumbass vaccine executive order.
Have Bobby say a few words, followed by Jay, Heidi, and Jamie, and then I'll sign the executive order, which I'm very excited about, because I came in and I said I want to find what's going on with autism. It's many, many times what it used to be years ago, and it gets progressively worse, and we had progressively more and more vaccines. So in a nutshell, and you can see it through this, we're breaking up the vaccines, and we're breaking them up into time periods. Okay, not so complicated. And we think we're going to have a tremendous result from doing that. Very simply, large amounts of vaccine, large amounts of, like vats of vaccine pumped into your child's body. And we're doing 20% of that at each visit. And we'll let time elapse between visits so the body can handle this massive amount of fluid being pumped in. I think it's going to make a big difference. You know, there are some groups that have virtually no problem with autism. And I have to say this, they're groups that aren't big into the world of vaccines. So there's something wrong when we see record numbers all the time, every year for years and years. Every year gets higher autism. And we think we have a very good recommendation, and a lot of good things are happening. We're going to be releasing some very detailed.
They're putting vats and vats of vaccines into your kids. Like, dude, the anti-vaxxers are so crazy. They love this shit. One of the things they want to do is and maybe he'll mention it in one of these clips, they want to take the MMR and separate it out into 3 vaccines. If anybody remembers, sort of one of the origin stories of the anti-vaccine movement was Andrew Wakefield. And that was like what he was trying to do. Like, he wasn't an anti-vaxxer. He put out this sham study so that he and his friends could sell the UK government a series of 3 vaccines. Separate out the MMR. That's like one of the origin points of the modern anti-vax movement. And that's one of the things that Trump said he wants to do in this. So that's fucking crazy, because isn't that more shots? Anyway.
So at year 1, you should have 5 separate visits for vaccines rather than giving them all in the same day. Very importantly, vaccinations for hepatitis B, COVID-19, and influenza, among others, are no longer recommended for all children. In addition, this executive order directs the Attorney General to advance legal challenges against states that violate children's rights to religious or medical vaccination exemptions for the
Fuck a religious exemption. Medical exemptions, the doctors can take care of that. It's not very many, but there are some people who cannot get vaccinated, and that is more reason that you should. Not to protect you from the unvaccinated person, but rather to protect the people who cannot be vaccinated due to medical concerns. Those are the people who are getting fucked by the anti-vax movement, is the parents who would otherwise vaccinate their kids, but the doctor's like, hey, actually, we can't give this vaccine because your kid has this condition or that condition, and it's not safe to, do this. It's a very, very small number of people, but those people do exist. And the anti-vaxxers are like kind of eugenicists anyway. So they're like, well, I don't know, man. That person should probably die if they've got a fucking medical condition anyway. So here's more from this press conference.
Why does the establishment media so often seem to be against even asking questions about vaccines?
It's amazing. When you come up with a recommendation for a vaccine, it could be the medical groups, the pharmaceutical groups, I don't know, but it is amazing. There's nothing that we lose with this. If the worst thing that would happen would be nothing happens. We're not going to lose anything. At the same time, we could gain we could save hundreds of thousands of lives, millions of lives. And I wish we could have done it a long time ago. We got stopped by court.
Wait, what? Nobody's dying from vaccines, though. Nobody's dying from vaccines. This is so weird. This is all so fucked up. I can't believe that this stuff is being taken seriously. It's not that I'm stunned that Donald Trump is doing some shit like this. I'm just kind of stunned that any U.S. president is doing some shit like this. I don't know how we got here. I mean, I know how we got here. The very cast of characters that we cover on the internet is how we got here. But this sucks. This fucking sucks. The government doesn't always do the right thing and shit, but come on, they could be doing something. They could be doing fucking high-speed rail or I don't know, something, but they're doing this instead.
Not them.
Mr. President, I think I heard you say that the MMR vaccine for measles, mumps, and rubella is quite lethal. Is there any evidence of that?
What I've heard is that there are some people that say it is that way. And I say, well, let's say there's a 5% chance of it. Let's split it up. Because they do say that given individual, MMR, that given individual, there is no impact. In fact, they've said how safe it seems to be. But I've heard when you put them together, they can be explosive. Yeah.
Yeah, that's fucking straight up. Andrew Wakefield ran a scam and lost his medical license by trying to convince people of that. And that's one of the origin points of the modern anti-vaccine movement. Obviously, it's not the origin point. I would suggest to you that Jenny McCarthy and Oprah probably have a lot to do with it, too. Actually, any nasty story about health and wellness, generally, if it started, anytime before about 2010, it's Oprah's fault, almost always. Here's one last clip.
What you have given is parents a choice, autonomy, a decision-making over how they want the vaccines given to their kids. I believe fundamentally that many vaccines are important. I said measles, for instance, the measles vaccine is important if we want to take control of the measles outbreak. But at the same time, we shouldn't be keeping kids out of school because they have made different decisions than other parents. Our European colleagues don't do that. A lot of the collapse in trust in public health has come because of these mandates that we've seen imposed during the Biden administration on the COVID vaccine and so many other things. What this does is it restores.
Okay, almost all of the regulation around that and all that was all done by the states and the counties. But also that clip is so crazy because I don't think that's a real person in the scarf. European countries, the reason that they don't have this problem is because they don't, the anti-vax movement for the time being is much smaller there. So they don't really have these kinds of problems because they have universal health care there and people have a higher degree of trust in the healthcare administration there. I mean, I know that every system's got its problems and every country's got its fucking wackadoos, but I think that trust is higher in the medical establishment in countries where people all have access to healthcare. That's just sort of the way it is. All right, everybody. Vaccines. They're the size of a soda bottle. Pouring a bottle of soda into the child's body.
At 1 year, you should have 5 separate visits for vaccines.
Oh, we already ran this clip. Fucking live programming, everybody. Good shit. Anybody listening on the pod? This show's recorded live. We already ran that clip. Good job. Good job, whoever my producer is. Oh, wait, that's me. So, Up next, RFK Jr. Deflects about vaccine lies and then tells vaccine lies on an interview he did with CNN. If you could imagine that. This is, they got great websites. Videos load perfectly on these websites.
In terms of though that idea of that it's like the size of a soda bottle. I mean that's not accurate, right?
I think what President Trump is talking about is the cumulative dose of all these vaccines. You get 94 shots or 94 jabs.
Right, but
no, you don't.
But a shot is
a big volume.
A shot is a 0.5 milliliters for an average shot. A soda can is 500 to 600 milliliters. I mean, it's not even close.
Yeah, I mean, the question that I think, Alex, that you should be concerned with is the fact that none of these vaccines have been tested in placebo-controlled trials. So they're essentially mandated for millions of American kids without us understanding the risk profile.
I don't think that you get 94 shots. Like, I don't think that happened. I think they always just lie and inflate the number of times that you get injected. I'm not even sure that you get 94. Like, even with the vaccines that are like combined, I don't think that you get 94 different inoculations or whatever. I think that number's incorrect. I think they always just lie because they're liars, because they're fucking anti-vaxxers and they just lie. Because the people that they're talking to aren't anybody who's going to check, right? They're not going to be like, well, let's see how many shots do you get? They're just going to be like, RFK Jr. said it and I believe it, so it must be true.
And we want to make sure that the vaccines they're getting are the ones that they need to get, the same ones that the European countries recommend, based upon the best science.
Yeah.
With those countries have much healthier children than we do.
So in terms of...
we have the highest chronic disease rates of any nation in the world. And we need to look at all of the causes for that, all the potential causes, and give Americans the best advice.
But
I don't know that other countries, like, first of all, they hate European countries, right? And one breath they'll tell you they hate Europe because it's a fucking like a woke hellscape or whatever. And another one, they'll be like, oh, they get better health outcomes. Well, they have less chronic disease because everybody has health care, you fucking idiot. People can go to the doctor there. And so they just they have better health outcomes because you can go to the fucking doctor. And so things get caught earlier before they become a lifelong problem, you fucking idiot. Somebody in the chat said better food, but I don't know if they have better food there. I mean, I don't know. Certain places eat better than we do, but a lot of times you'll hear them say, oh, this has been banned in Europe. It's like, no, it hasn't. They just call it something different, right? Like this food dye, you don't find red dye number 8 or whatever in Europe. And it's like, well, that's because they don't number and their naming scheme for their dyes is different. So yeah, there's no red dye number 8 there, not because they don't use the same chemical compound. It's just that they call it something else. I forget what the nomenclature or the naming scheme is like. Here's RFK Jr. from Trump's press conference, lying some more about vaccines.
That the industry likes to say, one of the talking points, which the press loves to parrot, is, oh, we're just noticing it more. But this is an absurdity, and this is an assertion that has been debunked again and again and again by peer-reviewed literature. But it's also debunked by common sense. Because if we were just noticing it more, we would notice it in older groups. But we're not. We're only noticing it in kids who were born around 1989 or after. The older generations, you're not seeing those increases. So something happened in the mid-90s that changed our children, and it has to be an environmental exposure. Because genes don't cause epidemics. They can provide a vulnerability, but you need...
So this is dumb because, like, autism spectrum disorder, like, I think, like, I think he's talking about, isn't this when like when like a DSM 4 or 5 or something came out, and like the diagnostic standards for autism spectrum disorder were broadened and changed and like clarified, and more people were being diagnosed with it because there was like more like clearer guidance. I think it was from the DSM, and I think that's what he's talking about. Does he think that like autistic people didn't exist before? They were just called something else, oftentimes a slur. There were oftentimes like the R slur would be used for them. Like, I don't know, man. Did you, you're my age. Did you have an uncle that was just always really into fucking toy trains, man? Just hella into those toy trains. Ain't nothing wrong with that. Absolutely nothing wrong with that. But maybe that uncle undiagnosed with autism spectrum disorder. Who fucking knows, man? Who fucking knows? Remember when they used to say that fucking people had toys in the attic and shit? Holy shit, man. Like they had all kind of different euphemisms for that shit, and it always existed. This is just incorrect. There's they just say that, they just lie, and at the end of this is just eugenics. They think that if you're on the autism spectrum that you are broken. They think that, and you are not. If you're just, your mind works different, you're fine. Some people are, in fact. They need a little more help or whatever, but there's all kind of people who need help all the time, so it's fine. Up next. Nope. More lies about vaccines. This is an old lie about the COVID vaccine, specifically that we heard a lot if you were here and you had the unfortunate experience of watching Brett Weinstein for hours and hours and hours during the pandemic, sometimes to like fucking 4 a.m. This is one of those lies that Steve Kirsch was telling often on Brett Weinstein shows and others about the miscarriages and the baby's head exploding.
Be managed. And people need the freedom to make these decisions, to talk to their doctor. Let me ask you this. Do we know, because everyone has heard anecdotal instances where women had miscarriages during that period, near the time that they took this vaccine. Do we know if the vaccine caused adverse effects that could have led to miscarriages in that time period?
I mean, Martha, it's certainly possible. You saw that reflected in Tony Fauci's text. The debate regarding that question rages on.
No. This one I looked up. No. He was asking someone else, actually, because he didn't know, because he's not an expert on fucking everything like Jay Bhattacharya is. No. He was asking someone else about it.
I mean, I can tell you, like, I wrote a draft paper that we never able to get published, where we found a slight increase in miscarriage in the first trimester. Whether that's right or not, it depends on peer review and all that, which we didn't finish.
You know what could have caused that? COVID.
Because I became director. Other people have published papers that say that there has not been a rise. Now, that debate then rages on in the scientific literature. For me, it's even beyond that. The key question is, when you are recommending something for pregnant women, you have to be pretty certain, because they're a very vulnerable population, especially the baby that they have inside of them is vulnerable. We are usually very careful as doctors to say, well, we even say don't eat sushi, don't the things where there's not we take a balance toward the risks don't generally outweigh the benefits from products. Instead of using that normal sort of common sense kind of approach to recommendations for pregnant women at the time, what they were saying at the time was just ignore all those harms, forget about the possibility, forget about the scientific debate, forget about all that nuance, and just say you must take it, right. Or else you lose your job, or else you lose your ability to go into society. I think that was a tremendous mistake, and we're paying the price as a result in the loss of trust in public health.
Yeah. And as you point out, you were saying this all along, and you were mocked and vilified, as I said, and now you're the director of the National Institutes of Health. I think that much of what you said in the Great Barrington, perhaps all, I just don't know, it has been proven to be true.
No, it hasn't.
And especially in the damage that we've seen that happened to kids who were...
No. These people just keep repeating themselves and acting like that makes that shit they were saying true. All that shit in the Great Barrington Declaration was bullshit. They wanted to give everybody COVID and see what happened. They're like, oh, we should just let everybody get it. Like remember they used to have chickenpox parties? They sort of wanted to do that on a national scale. And like most of the people that signed that were not infectious disease specialists or epidemiologists. And people who were infectious disease specialists and epidemiologists were like, oh, you probably shouldn't do the national version of a chicken pox party, actually. That seems like a super bad idea. So, you know, don't worry about it, though. Don't worry about it. Here's more. This is from Fox. This is, again, these people, I think they desperately want another pandemic because otherwise they ain't got nothing. They ain't got shit.
Tell me, you now see what Senator Ron Johnson was able to release. What are your thoughts?
You know, it's disgusting and it's criminal, in my opinion. As a mother, I can't imagine being pregnant, listening to the man in charge straight up lie to the American people. You try so hard to get pregnant, you get pregnant, and then you listen to him. Oh, in fact, I think he actually said that there was never a risk of pregnancy, never a risk. When in fact, the New England Journal of Medicine said 82% of women who got the vaccine in their first or second trimester had a miscarriage.
No, they didn't say that.
It's criminal and it's disgusting, and this man should be held accountable for it.
But the New England Journal of Medicine didn't say that. Why are they lying? It didn't say that. You go look up the people are posting like fucking highly edited excerpts from the article all over social media. You can just take one of those highly edited excerpts that they're posting from the article, pop that shit into Google, and Google will link you to the fucking article. You can read it yourself, and then you tell me if it said that like over 80% of people that got 80% of pregnant women who got the COVID vaccine in the first or second trimester had a miscarriage. You go look at that, and you tell me if you think that's what it says. You go right ahead. You'll read it and you'll be like, huh? How did I get that from this? Up next, God, who is a forgiving and loving God, is just going to start killing people.
In fact, the Lord said there's such a wave of the anointing of God coming that it's going to hit Congress, it's going to hit the White House, and the days are going to come, saith the Lord, that I'm going to mute the mouth of the evil one, and those that have made covenant with the devil, I'm going to remove them. And the Lord said that it's a wave not just of judgment. But God said also, when the glory of the Lord is released, he said, death is going to hit the wicked kingdom. And he said, the gallows that have been built to hang the gospel on are going to be reversed. And God said, I'm going to reverse it, and I'm going to hang those that built it on their own judgment.
All right. Great. Fucking. I don't know why that tired old queen is saying all that weird shit, but that tired old queen is saying all that weird shit in church. Jesus Christ. So up next, these people, they just want to turn the Constitution into the fucking Bible. That's like all they want to do. It's so dumb. Shout out to Right Wing Watch, by the way.
The founders, if people have looked at the United States of America from early on, de Tocqueville did this. And he says, well, where do they get their concepts? And if you statistically analyze, where were the concepts that caused the founding of the United States? The most commonly quoted thing was the Bible. Mm-hmm. So why are we taking such a sense of how important the Bible is?
Well, the data is behind that. It's not just an opinion. So the University of Houston did a study of all the literature, 4,000 documents from the founders that came out with two sources predominantly quoted. And the two sources was A, the Bible. Second, it was Deuteronomy within the Bible. It was literally the book of Deuteronomy was quoted 60% of the time. And then the Blackstone's law was based upon the Old Testament law. So that was the second quoted.
They just accidentally put that shit in the First Amendment, apparently. They didn't mean it. They just accidentally put that shit in the First Amendment about how Congress shall enact no law respecting the establishment of a religion, and how there should be no like religious test to hold office, and how like you should be free to practice your religion however you want. They just accidentally did that. It was a big old whoopsie. A whoopsie poopsie, as we say around here. It's accident. They didn't mean it. It's all based on Deuteronomy. Well, I saw this. Now you have to see this.
Baby,
I'm sorry about that. Any fans of Austin Powers out there? I'm really sorry. I saw the movie. I thought it was okay. I wasn't as into it as some of my friends who were like doing Austin Powers impressions all the time. And if you were watching, or if you're listening on the podcast, you might check the show notes for that one, or maybe check the video on like YouTube or Odyssey or whatever, or maybe not. Maybe you can just be like, I don't know what that was, and I am going to live with the bliss that I don't have to know what it was. So we got two more before we head on into red light. One, let's check in on the Modern Wisdom podcast. There's this dude named Jimmy Carr who I'm starting to think we're going to have to take a look at, because he's sort of starting to reach like Jordan Peterson levels of insanity. Here's him on the Modern Wisdom podcast. I got two clips of him, actually.
And then I was thinking about even the language of it. It's not hiding. It's nets and webs. The internet.
How so?
It's the web, right?
Mm-hmm.
It's the internet. What do nets and webs do? They catch people. That's what it's doing. I think Aldous Huxley was right about this. Our power will not be taken from us by some overlord. I think we'll give it away for cheap dopamine. And Aldous Huxley said it was Soma, which was the tablet, right? And he was even right about that. It's just a different kind of tablet. Maybe my take on AI is like, I don't have religion. I don't think we were made in God's image. But I think we so wanted there to be a God. We created one in our image. It's all-knowing, all-powerful, can create miracles, and lives in a cloud.
Are we going to have to like fucking start investigating this Jimmy Carr guy? Because I think Jordan Peterson is either dead or fucking so out of commission that we really won't be able to like get any new content from him. So we're going to have to start looking into this Jimmy Carr guy. Here's more from that interview. Not great. Not great. We've already checked into this Modern Wisdom. What is this? The Chris Williamson or whatever his name is. Also, like, not for nothing, if I can do it, like, trying to look like Justin Timberlake here. Look at this. Look at this. He is this guy, but this guy is not bringing sexy back.
And I came across this Nabil Qureshi quote that said, "A cursed fact of the world is that the most important life lessons you learn are the hardest to communicate to others because they always sound like cliches."
It's my favorite quote. William Gibson, the sci-fi writer from Canada, said, "The future is here, but it's not evenly distributed." If you only said one prayer and it was thank you, that would be enough. I think that's bang on.
Procrastination turns uncomfortable things into unavoidable things. Basically, like, if it doesn't fit, eventually it'll hurt wearing it.
I mean, I think it's knowing what we are as well. It's that great quote of the Paleolithic emotions, medieval institutions, and godlike technology.
Probably not.
That's a Marcus Aurelius line, isn't it? The if you don't know where you're going, no wind is favorable. I think it was B.B. King said it. I do the shows for free. They pay me to travel. There's two most important days. The day you're born and the day you find out why. What's that lovely quote? The strong men make good...
Oh, no, the fascist quote.
Good times make weak men. Weak men make hard times. Hard times make strong men. And so it goes. I mean, Scott Galloway has the best line on it. The risk to your liver is as nothing compared to the risk of social isolation. There's a great line I often think of, which is you can do anything you want. You only have to face the consequences. It's really powerful.
Have you heard David Ogilvy's line, "You can't save souls in an empty church"? Heard it a couple of weeks ago, and I've kind of been obsessed with it since.
What's that great quote about, in the work of genius, we see our own discarded thoughts?
Yeah.
Yeah. Well, Chairman Mao, wasn't it? You can't smell the roses from a galloping horse. I think comedy I love that line, laughter's the shortest distance between two people. It's Hormuz's line.
Yeah.
It's, self-confidence comes from giving the world irrefutable proof you are who you say you are.
This is awful. I'm getting the impression like we're gonna have to start looking into this guy because he's crazy. He quoted Scott Galloway. Scott Galloway, for people, he's unfortunately Kara Swisher still like associates with him. Scott Galloway is basically Gamergate with a pocket watch these days. He's been on this like, the trouble with men and boys and all that shit. Anyway, well, we're gonna watch this whole thing during red light for those who stick around or whatever. But I thought we'd get a clip of this. Tim Pool went on The Surrounded and decided to like rage quit when somebody was asking him questions that he didn't like.
My next Surrounded claim is that the United States is tracking towards a civil war.
There's 42 of your titles that have the word civil war in it.
Correct.
With big fonts on the front.
They sure do.
So why is that? It's sensationalist. It's easy to get clicks on that. There's a reason why you say it, because it's very profitable for your business.
Not necessarily.
But
We have 1,600 episodes of just IRL.
There comes a point where people stop taking your predictions seriously.
Are you going to make an argument, or are you mad at me?
I'm not mad at you.
Okay, then let's make an argument about whether or not we are tracking. No. If you're making an argument, you don't like my thumbnails, or you try to say my name over and over again.
I'm saying that you say bullshit in order to get money. But what I really think is...
Oh, shit. Yes, that's true.
Question you can't
I will
answer.
agree with you that there's increased polarization. I would attribute a lot of that to people being specifically online.
Let me ask you.
There's
I
a
don't
lot
disagree.
less interaction
I
with
completely
people
agree.
that are in different camps.
You defer.
You can say that
Let me
there's
ask you a
civil
question.
war every fucking year and it doesn't happen. And
I
you're gonna
never
say,
said
it just
there
hasn't
was.
happened yet.
Let me ask you a
Or
question.
if it does happen, you say, see, I've had it all
Let me
along.
ask you a
You
question.
are the same thing as like the
Let me
Christian rapture
ask you
people
a
who say that the
question.
rapture's coming every fucking year.
Are
And
you-
when it doesn't happen,
do
it's
you want
like,
a
oh, it's not
soapbox?
happening.
Do you want me to get you a
I'm just saying,
soapbox?
It's really
I can leave.
easy.
You want me to
It's
go?
really easy to
You want me to
do
leave?
what you do.
You want me to
It's
leave?
really easy to do what you do. Civil War's happening next year.
That was great. That fucking ruled. He just got up and left. He was like, I'm not doing this. So anyway, thanks everybody for hanging out for the podcast recording of the show. We're going to go on into red light. If you are listening to the podcast, make sure you check out a live show sometime. We're live several nights a week at twitch.tv/Echoplex Media. If you are watching live, you know the drill. Stick around. I'm going to change the lighting in here and pour myself a drink. And we'll be back for red light. Red light tonight. We got Nicky Fuentes on his thoughts on Jewish people and Muslims. Nicky Fuentes on what women do when they show up. There's a man walks into a Middle Eastern supermarket and you'll never believe what he sees. We try to not cover kick streamers who go around pissing people off, but this guy Ice Poseidon went to Tokyo or Japan and pissed a bunch of people off. And there was a watch party that Mike Lindell did for his primary loss on Tuesday. And then, unless y'all can talk me out of it, we are going to watch that Jubilee, the whole Jubilee thing with Tim Pool, basically complaining that people are calling him a grifter. I have a feeling that's going to be a lot of what goes on. This is Boomers by Periscope, and we'll be back in a few minutes for Red Light.